one PCI bus. So the little story behind the CPU core which is inside is that MIPS patented for hardware instructions for the MIPS 1 core, and then what Lextra did was to implement those instructions in software. And the MIPS patent was granted in 1986. And at some point, MIPS sued Lextra for patent infringement. And the Lextra went to the USPTO to ask for revision of the patent. And then at some point, because the trial was lasting too long, the Lextra was spending too much money on lawyers and went bankrupt. I think now the founder of Lextra works at MIPS. I think the CEO or CTO is the main founder of Belgacom. It's a very widespread device. So if you go a bit more driving in Brussels or in Belgium, you will see lots of those SSIDs. I think you can. The user has to choose its encryption method, whether it leaves open or web or WPA. And for example, one of my neighbors has an open VBox. And one interesting thing with this device is that it has a telnet open, where the admin, the login and password are the same for all boxes. So when you go on telnet to the gateway, you receive a root shell when you type admin and the same password. One of the so my main goal is not to try to, let's say, get into the Belgacom network or whatever. My main goal is to use the device for OpenWRT or other purposes like building a small NAS, installing cool open source software you can find on OpenWRT sources. And so there are several places where you can find some bits of sources, but not the kernel nor the bootloader. And one of the problems, as I will explain later with the bootloader, is that it has been modified by Sagem to add some encryption so that the image, the kernel image and the root file system that you load are signed. So right now there is a clear disregard regarding the GPL. I know that in France, the Orange, they have launched a website called Livebox Plus, where they don't give any source of the Linux kernel for the Livebox 2. I think several people have already contacted Belgacom, and basically before this talk I was contacted by a Belgacom security manager, and I asked, can you give me back the source, because I need to at least get the source from the Linux kernel. So there is, for this processor, there is a binary toolchain that you can download from Django. So Django is an Israeli company that makes OpenRG, which is some kind of layer that you put on top of normal Linux tools to manage such device. And they do some pickup ready to use for ISPs and companies that wants to build systems around those devices. They give ready to build toolchains and things like that. But they ask for, when you have a GPL request, they ask to send them a letter. So about the bootloader, once you get an access on the box, then it's pretty easy to either put a USB key and dump the copy of the flash with DD on the USB key, and then do some analysis on what the flash contains. So basically, when you put the serial console on the 4 pins, you will see serial messages saying this is a Sajam secure boot loader for ADI chipset. And then you see CPU, DRAM, flash, and so on. This is really, if you are really familiar with U-boot, this is similar to what the U-boot message outputs. So when I first saw that, I said, oh, this looks like U-boot. And then I made a copy of the flash, and then I wrote to the author, one of the main author of U-boot, Wolfram Denk, and we exchanged several emails to know if it was really a modified U-boot, and he clearly gave me the one comment where you can extract the U-boot binary and see if it's a real GPL. So what I've done is, with a bit of the help of Nico, was to use one of the new features of OpenWRT, which is to use an external toolchain. Before this project, I was really much involved with the Intersil 3893 system on chip, which has some external toolchain that you won't find in OpenWRT for whatever reason. And it's really useful when you have a toolchain from any manufacturer that gives them on their FTP website or whatever, to be able to use it to compile just some basic packages. And because the BusyBox of the OpenRT was really restricted, I wanted first to compile a BusyBox with all the possible things inside in a static, and then copy it on the USB key and launch it. So after spending 1 hour, 2 hours trying to make it work, then I finally ended up with a 1 megabyte BusyBox that I could launch on the box. So via USB key, it requires physical access, and I recently find another way to do it. I found that on the